Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Namaste Village. Welcome to the Namaste experience on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Wednesday, of course, being our silent day. We'll see how we do. Sometimes we're better than other times, but the key is the decision to listen, the determination to hear that still, quiet voice that speaks to us every moment. And it speaks to us only of one thing: love, of course. How do we love in spite of it all? In spite of this crazy world that we've created to hide from love, literally. In spite of all the things that are going on in our minds, all the, whatever it may be, all the challenges, to love, only love. So this morning I have something interesting that I want to share with all of you. And it comes in the form of something that someone wrote to me regarding our chosen mantra. Those of you who don't know, our mantra here at Namaste Village in the Namaste experience is only love, only God, only now. Only now. So someone wrote something to me, or this was sent to me, and you can think about who you think it might be. All I'll tell you is that it's not me. But let me read it first because it's just gorgeous. Okay. There are 5 short paragraphs. The first is called Embracing Unconditional Love. Only love beckons us to transcend the boundaries of the self, to embrace a love that is boundless and unconditional. It calls us to love not only those who are easy to love, but also those who challenge our understanding. That never happens here. In the tender moments of compassion and the fierce storms of forgiveness, we discover the transformative power of a love that emanates from a divine source, touching every corner of our being. That's the first paragraph. So that was on the beginning part of the mantra, only love. Now we move on to seeking the divine presence. Only God invites us to embark on a spiritual journey, recognizing the divine presence that permeates every facet of our being. It is in an acknowledgement that beyond the mundane, there exists a higher power, a cosmic architect, orchestrating the symphony of our existence. That's beautiful. Let me read that again. It is the acknowledgement that beyond the mundane there exists a higher power, a cosmic architect, orchestrating the symphony of our existence. In moments of reflection and prayer, we connect with this transcendent force, finding strength, purpose, and a sense of belonging in the grand tapestry of creation. Isn't that beautiful? So let's move on to our final part, only now. And this paragraph is called Embracing the Present Moment. Only now draws our attention to the importance of the present moment. The past is a reservoir of lessons, and the future holds the promise of possibilities. But it is only in the now that we truly live. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we become aware of the beauty that surrounds us, the opportunities that unfold, and the grace that flows through each breath. The now becomes a sacred space where we encounter the divine in the ordinary. And finally, This paragraph is called A Guiding Light for Life's Journey. As we navigate the labyrinth of life, the mantra, only love, only God, only now, serves as a guiding light, illuminating our path with wisdom and grace. It is a reminder that, in the simplicity of love, the recognition of the divine, and the embrace of the present moment, we find the keys to unlock the doors to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and spiritual abundance. This mantra becomes a source of strength, a balm for the soul, and a beacon that leads us back to the core of our being. Only love, only God, only now. What'd you think of that?
Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah, when I received it, I immediately thought, I need to share this because it shows how this inspiration is showing up through each one of us. I think that's the key, but even more than each one of us. So anyone have any idea of who might have written that?
Someone in our community.
No, I'm not saying who or where or anything.
Guru Mai.
That would be a trick, wouldn't it? Vicky, that was a good thought, but no, Vicky did not write it. Vicky very well could have written it. It was written by someone named Albert Inverness. Anyone know who Albert Inverness is? How about Albert's initials? AI. I went to the, what's it called? ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT. And I just put in only love, only God, only now to see what artificial intelligence would say about it. And that's what came out.
Does artificial intelligence understand what it
I have no idea. Well, I would assume it does. I don't know. But isn't that beautiful? I mean, we could talk about it for hours, but the fact that, well, all artificial intelligence does is it instantly accumulates millions and millions and millions of other possibilities that have been written on other subjects by multiple people, millions of people probably, all of which are online. And within about 2 seconds, probably less, takes all of that and brings it together into one cohesive, beautiful statement about our mantra. Yes?
Can you send that out?
Yeah, okay, I'll send out an email. So if you're not on my email list, you're not going to get it. So make sure you get on my email list. Just go to jamesftwyman.com. I'll send it out later. But I was very moved by everything that Albert Inverness, I decided I would give him a name. Let me read this last part one more time, just so you can get a real feel for this. Okay, this is the last part. As we navigate the labyrinth of life, the mantra, only love, only God, only now, serves as a guiding light, illuminating our path with wisdom and grace. It is a reminder that in the simplicity of love, the recognition of the divine, and the embrace of the present moment, we find the keys to unlock the doors of a life of purpose, fulfillment, and spiritual abundance. This mantra becomes a source of strength, a balm for the soul, and a beacon that leads us back to the core of our being. That is the collective whole mind that we talk about here every day. Okay? But this is a facsimile of the collective whole mind that's within you right now. Now, it may have more bells and whistles. It may be even quicker at doing it. But the point is that everything you just heard is within you and can come out of us, not necessarily with words, but through our presence. Because it's not about understanding any of this intellectually. That was a beautiful, poetic, even intellectual examination of that mantra. But wouldn't it be better for us to dive into that ocean of grace and to live that wordless, without concepts, without any of the symbols that we so often use to interpret? This is no longer an interpretation. This is a reality that's within each one of us. Yes, Tim?
It would be interesting for others to go into either ChatGPT or any of the other AI sources on there and type in the same thing and see what comes out.
Tim is saying it would be interesting to go back into ChatGPT and see, or any of the other possible AI websites, and just type in only love, only God, only now, and see what else, see if the same thing comes out, if different things come out. I don't know, but that would be interesting. But it shows us not only what kind of strange world we live in now, where such a thing is even possible. I mean, could you have imagined something like this 20 or 30 years ago? Of course not. There are many things that we wouldn't have imagined. And yet, they're all symbols. They're all symbols of the evolution of your mind. They're all symbols of the eternal embrace of your own I am consciousness. So, I'd love to hear what our dear Vicky has to say about this. So, Vicky, go for it. What do you think?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I'm surprised it didn't use the word grace. I had a friend, Bonnie, who comes here sometimes. Her husband sent me a letter and sent her a letter. And all he did was describe a few things of, say, our friendship. And this AI, it's the ChatGPT you're talking about, wrote the most beautiful letter of friendship and love I'd ever written. It made me cry. And I thought it was from them. And it was from, and that later they told me that AI had written it. But that is AI. And look at how all of a sudden it's everywhere. See how this translation into heaven is happening right in front of us. And all it's that could not, that consciousness couldn't be if it weren't also in all of our minds. So it's a little quicker than all our minds. But the other thing I wanted to say is I love Silent Wednesday. And last Wednesday, just the attitude of listening, just the attitude of being open to receive, being open for no goal, no outcome. It's like being with one another and happy for no reason other than being present and enjoying the present flow of grace that's always happening. So last week, my attention kind of flew to angels. So I spent the whole week, and I'm still doing it, including the angels in my daily life, just like we include each other. And I've had so much, I guess I would say I've had so much fun with it, confirmations here and there and all kinds of things. So today, I'm excited to see what my listening and all of our listening opens us up to. Because when our minds aren't preoccupied with any issue, we are present. And if we don't, I've learned, if I don't go to calculating, what is it by the pound, by the purse, by the clock, if I don't do any of that, my mind is freed up to be really present. So I don't know the language of love and grace now, and I'm learning it with all of us together. We're all learning it. And whether it's paying attention and listening as a whole way of life, or like today is setting aside a day to focus on the presence in the ordinary, the presence that's always singing, lilting. That I can feel. I can feel it. I don't always hear it, but I can feel it. And see where it takes us. This week of the angels has been a great week. And whether it's maybe sitting in something that may have been an upset, sitting in it for a moment without trying to defend or attack or anything other than allowing it and then letting it pass, and seeing how when we don't wrestle with some temptation to engage, we're freed up. And that's a way of life that we're harnessing right now. And I love that we're doing the workbook and that we're doing it in celebration and in dance, not just in song. It's a total inclusion. It's body and soul to move and be free and dance it out and let all the remnants of our old thinking come to the surface just to be let go of, so that we are building in our minds the space, the open space for what we already are, so that it can extend and reflect all around us. Just as it does in this little room right here, right now, it cannot help but extend throughout all time. So I'm excited about these times of quiet and listening to see where the present moment draws us, where it pulls us in to only love, only God, only now, and always very practically, very specifically. It's like the most important thing I've learned about spirituality and all the years of doing all these traditions and practices is that it's very practical. As soon as something comes up, it's very practical. And the most practical thing is to any upset that isn't, what isn't joy isn't. It's really that simple. Love is joy. If it isn't joy or love, it isn't. And we're engaging a false nightmare, a false dream sequence. It's just a dream sequence. And finally, I have, and I think all of us are integrating that. So we get wrestle with it in just a sequence. Let me come back to present love, present joy. And by putting all our attention there, that whatever it was, issue or remnants of old ego attachment and desires and fears, they do fade away. It's the crack in the mortar that lets the light through. And it's what James said yesterday, all we have to do is let it through for an instant, because every instant is the whole. It's not, oh, part of holiness. It's all of it. Every holy instant delivers us to all of it, to all of the allness of what love and joy are. So the only thing to be vigilant, especially in a day of quiet, is to stay out of the way and let the allness speak and sing and breathe as me, not even through me, as me, and as all of us. We're just the language of the all. We're learning the language of we are all, always. We are the all of life, always. And whatever isn't joy just is a dream sequence. It doesn't need attending to, it just needed recognition. So that's what I'm doing today. And I think AI, is that how we say it? AI, artificial intelligence. It's just a wonder, but it's no more a wonder than our own minds working and how quickly the whole world has picked it up. That's how quickly our minds, when we radiate the presence of holiness that we are, grace emanates everywhere and it's picked up quickly. And that's why before we know it, institutions and all kinds of things readjust to grace instead of to the law of effect, cause and effect. We've moved from cause and effect to grace. Grace abounds in love and in joy. So I wish you all a happy, holy day of presence. And no matter what comes up, remember, it's just a dream sequence. It's not a big deal. The recognition of it is the biggest deal that frees us and lets those chains of imprisonment fall away. It falls away and we're free. That's it. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Brother James. Thanks, everyone. I love you all. Happy Holy Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. I love what you shared, that we are the all, always, always in the all. It reminds me of a hologram. You probably know that if you have a hologram of any picture, if that hologram were to be broken, every part, every piece that breaks off has the whole hologram contained within it. Is there a better way to understand that even though we seem to be broken, even though we seem to be splintered, the all, the whole, is within each one of us right now? We have to trust that. We begin by believing, we then enter into trust, and then we experience. That's what we're here to experience. And something like AI spitting out in literally half a second everything that you just heard is just an example, once again, of the all that is fully contained within you. So let's live from that place today. I'll send this out later so you can all see that. And just as a something to realize, there are 2,200 people who are dancing to these lessons every single day. So 2,200 people are receiving the emails every single morning and dancing just as we are dancing here at Namaste Village. So let's keep it up. And we say together, Amen, Amen, Amen.
Amen.
Punto.
Punto.
And there it is.
Love you
Love
all.
you all.
Have a
Namaste.
great
Claire.
day as
Thank
well.
you.
Bye, Caroline.
Bye now.